them, Lord. Help them, Lord. Show them, Lord. Help them, Lord. So blood thunder. The system is a vampire. Why is it so rotten?
Shalom Yahavashai, Wahasham, Wahavakak Badash. Honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit and to the hopeful elect. And to the few, I mean a very few, brothers and sisters that are listening and also learning in hopes of being saved within these last days. Because we are living, truly living in the last days of the last days. And there's a lot of things to bring out. Okay, listen. Nobody's doing evil and rolling off into the sunset. Nobody. We're going to go into Psalms 10. And this system is a vampire. You know, this whole system, bro. The whole system is based on slavery and human trafficking, bro. The whole system is based on having you in bondage. But guess the only one that can free you from that bondage, guess who that is? Yahweh Shai. Who they literally call Jesus Christ. That's the only one that can free you from that bondage. Other than that, if you're not freed from that, that means you're still in it. You can get yourself out. It's a state of mind. Okay? And the things, basically, his machines, what I'm using right now is a part of the matrix. But you lessen your time that you're on it. Hold on just a minute. Got to lessen your time you're on these things. The whole system is a beast, man. The whole system is based on human slavery. Right? And keeping you in conformity. Keeping you comfortable in your oppression. This is Psalms 10. It says, why standest thou far off, O Lord, you have a shame? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. The wicked are persecuting the poor. So who are these wicked people that are doing that? Could it be your government? Yeah, but it's not just your government. It's other people within your government. It's not just your government. It's your elites on down, including your army, including your military complex. Right? You got to realize that. It's not just one person oppressing you. It's a multitude of people doing that. That's how you have a system, by keeping people in check. Right? By having a simulation. But a false simulation. Because the simulation is not even real. The simulation is not real. It's only real if you believe it's real. It's fake. That's why they need people positioned where you are, to believe in the simulation. Because if people weren't there, then there would be no simulation. It would just be a few people. So it's the people that make up the system. But when you have slaves and people that are not privy or brainwashed, they're going to follow it. That's why I tell you, your society in a whole is sick. The society is sick. And it needs healing. And the only thing that's going to heal it is the word of Yahweh Shai. Nothing else. It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices they have imagined. So it's the wicked that are oppressing the poor. You got bills and you're like, hold on, how did I get that bill? I've already paid that bill. Then another bill. Right? Satan finds loopholes within the system. He finds ways to get you caught up. He finds ways. Because he wants to keep you there. Don't you understand? Any form of control, he's about control. He wants to be like the Most High. But he's not. For the wicked boaster of his heart's desire. What's their heart desire? That new world order. That's the desire. And they're boasting about it. And they have the people in place and those to enforce it. All these things. Whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. They're not thinking about God. They're fighting against God. Have you seen what people be doing when you're traveling? Have you seen what they be doing? Trying to obstruct you. Which really they can't stop anything. But they try to obstruct you. try to make things hard. But when you do that, you just strengthen us. That's what you're doing, is just strengthening the cause. You're adding to the cause. You're not taking away from the cause, you're adding to it. And you're building us up. Unbeknownst to you, you're not breaking nothing down. Because guess who's the one that breaks down? The Lord Jehovah Shai. You're just building us up, but you think you're doing that. But you don't realize you're fighting against the Heavenly Father and his Son. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. Puffing is taunting. So this man is so proud, he would taunt you. That's that pride. The pride of Esau. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved. This is how this man's thinking. I'm never going to be moved. They've been in power for that long. That's how they're thinking. For I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Cursing. This high level witches, they try to curse you, you know. Yeah, they try to curse you, your bloodline. His mouth is full of cursing. Right? Key thing. Cursing. Alright? Deceit and fraud. So within this system, that's what cursing, deceit, fraud. A lot of fraud going on. A lot of swindling going on. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places does he murder the innocent. You got people end up missing. You got people end up missing. And they say it was a suicide. Probably wasn't a suicide. But this is what you got going on within society. This is what you got going on. You got children end up missing, men end up missing, whistleblowers end up missing. Because the wicked are in rule right now. But that's going to come to an end real soon. It says, and they got to do all that noise now. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. You know what that reminds me of? We're going to go to it. He lieth in wait like a lion, like a predator, lion. So you got certain people, they would sit in the car. They'll wait for you to come out and sit in the car. Or watch you from a distance. You know what I'm thinking about right now? 1 Peter's 9:5, 5 and 9. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary as a roaring lion walketh about seeking whom he may devour. This ties in with this right here. So he's walking about looking for those that are devourable. He's looking for the vulnerable. This society preys on the vulnerable. That's why human trafficking has gone up. It's not gone down because it preys on the vulnerable more so. And you don't even need to be vulnerable for that to happen. And he says, his eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth as a lion when he drove him, and he doth catch the poor. When he drove him into his net. He says he catches the poor when he draws him into the net. So this man's also like a fisher. Trying to draw, there's many ways he has where he can get you back in the system and draw you back into that net. It's slavery, bro. That's where he wants you. Me, I could live in a tent. I'm good. But that's where he wants you. He wants us back in slavery. Bills go up. Hello there, you okay? Okay. Yeah, I'm not too bad. Where you? You in Spain? Yeah, yeah. You Biblia, Hispanic, and yellow. Biblia. Yeah, yeah. Familia. Oh, this is one of them tribes, Mama. One of them Latin tribes, Mama. So back to the thing. What they do, it's about getting you back in. This is the Matrix. It's one big maze. This is one big maze. Let me pan the camera. I'm in East today, by the way. I'm in East. We're gaining a lot of ground, a lot of territory. All right? We're in East today. Okay? So what you got to understand is, yeah, he draws out the net. Well, the rich, bro, if you're rich, well, where's the how are they oppressing you if you're rich? If you got a nice set of money, how are you being oppressed? You're rich. It's the poor. It's the lower working class. That's how the rich get rich, off you, off the backs of you, because you don't understand the system. You don't even understand money. You don't even understand taxes. But they know the system better than you do. So you just think what you're doing is right when it's not right. No, you have to pay taxes. It was said to the Pharisees, render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. But, key thing, but, there's levels to this. There's levels. Right? There's levels. Right? What these people do also, they'd buy a house, right? Or, yeah, a house, rent out the rooms. They call it a studio flat when it's not a studio flat. It's a bloody bed sit. It's a bed sit. But they're calling it a studio flat. Bro, our people are being duped every day, just many different ways. Right? Many different ways. And he says, he croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. This man crouches like a lion. It tells you that in the Apocrypha. Though he croucheth, beware of him. Crouching like a, yeah. Giving you false promises. That's another sign of grooming. They promise you things. And they never stick to their side of the bargain. Yeah, we're going to do this. We got this for you. Lying. This world is cold. People, they're all about money. They don't give a damn about you. They don't care about you. It's all about money. He have said in his heart, God hath forgotten. God has not, he has not forgotten. He's not forgotten. He hide of his face, he will never see it. What you say? You think he hasn't saw what you've done? The Lord, remember, when the poor cry out to him, he hears the cry of the poor. He hears that. So if you're oppressing the poor, that cry is going straight to the angels, to the Son, to the Father. But there's people, they don't fear the Father. They don't fear Yahweh. So they will do that. We're going to go to Job 9:24. This oppressive system, man. This drains you, man. It's all about energy. We're all like battery packs. And the whole thing to do is drain you, suck you dry, until you don't have nothing. That's the whole goal. That's the whole goal. Excuse me just a minute. Okay. This is interesting. Hold that right there. We're also going to go to Job 9:24. This is very interesting. We're going to go to Job 12, and we're going to jump straight to this 13. With him is wisdom and strength with the heavenly Father. He hath counsel and understanding. Behold, he breaketh down. Yeah, sorry, that's spiritual. He breaketh down. Not you. Because you think someone ain't suffering and not enough, or he's having it too good. Not you. He breaketh down, and it cannot be built up again if he doesn't want it to be built again. He shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening. Shutteth what? The mind. Behold, he withholdeth the waters, and they dry up. Also, he send them out, and they overturn the earth. Which he done, right? During the flood. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. So you also have those that are being deceived. But in order to be deceived or deceive someone, you would have to be deceived yourself. And this is are his. He leadeth counselors away spoiled, and maketh judges fools. Counselors away spoiled, and make judges fools. Hello there, Morgan Chat. And make judges fools. So even some of the judges, they're not even right when it comes to judgment. Yahushua is raising us up to be what? Judges. And it says, he looseth the bond of the kings, and girdeth their loins with a girdle. He leadeth princes away spoiled, and overthroweth the mighty. So you might have mighty, but Yahushua is going to overthrow them. And that first begins with us teaching this word. That's how the mighty are going to get overthrown. By us teaching this word. He removeth away the speech of the trusty. He taketh away the understanding of the aged. He poureth contempt upon princes. Ha! Prince Andrew. That's contempt. You have a prince, part of the royalty, but he's involved in paedophilia. That's how you know us. That's how you know a society's going down. That's how you know society's going down. When you start seeing things like that happen. And it says, he discovereth, and he weakeneth the strength of the mighty. So the mighty, he's weakening their strength. He discovereth deep things out of darkness, and bringeth out the light, the shadow of death. Deep things out of darkness. What were some of the deep things you're hearing about? Diddy, Jay-Z, not Cardi B. What's the other name? I forgot what her name is. Nicki Minaj, right? Beyonce. Oh, you're hearing about different things, right? 50 Cent, T.I. You're hearing about the industry. You're hearing about the dirtiness that goes on. You're hearing about football scandals. You're hearing about all different types of scandals. And what's the main thing it involves in? So having to do something to compromise that integrity. Every time you hear about these things, you never really heard about it 10 years ago, but now you're hearing about these things because he discovers deep things out of darkness. You're hearing about the Mandelson. You're hearing about the Epstein files. Look what's coming up within the files. More things. They still haven't disclosed all names. The reason why they have not disclosed all the names, they know the names because they have the files. The reason they have not disclosed of all the names, because if they were to disclose of all the names, then within the UK, there'd be a lot of people in power that would be having to, what's the word? Resign. That's why 2025, why were people resigning? Could it be something to do with the Epstein case? Could it be something to do with the Epstein case? They haven't released all the names, but they have the names. It is going to be released though, that's the thing. But guess who's in control of that? The Lord Yahushua. Let's read this again. He discovereth deep things out of darkness, and bringeth out the light of the shadow of death. So with the whole Pizzagate, that's a deep thing in darkness. Them type of things are kept underneath the rug. They're the things that are going to be brought out. That's why these things are being mentioned now. That's why you have people resigning. Because these things are now, you see that it's in different levels of society now. It's talked about, but it's not talked about as much as it should be talked about. Then the people that do bring it out, your presenters, they look scared as well. The news people that bring that type of stuff out, they look scared. So why would you have news presenters scared of speaking about that type of thing? God, see, I'll make you these lessons. They're gonna make you think. That's why we do these lessons, so you think. We provoke the mind. I told you. There's big money. With the elites. That's where the money is. I just heard a child screaming. The money's with the children. And Satan's getting them from young now. Young. They get younger and younger. That's who he's after. Because if you can get them from when they're young, that's it. That's where the power is. With them children, man. That's why it's not fully coming out. Okay? I'm shaking up things today. So it says, he increaseth the nations and destroyeth them. So Yahushua can build up a nation, but at the same time, he can destroy a nation. He enlargeth the nations and straighten them out. Again, he taketh away the heart of the chief of the people of the earth and cause them to wander in the wilderness where there is no way. They grope in the dark without light. He maketh them to stagger like a drunken man. It says, they gropeth in the dark without light. He maketh them to stagger like a drunken man. In other words, their counsels are now failing. All them counsels are now failing. You know these people, they have counsel, they have meetings, they have counselors. But guess who controls the mind of the... Yahweh by Sham Yahushai controls the mind of the counselors. Okay? People talking to me about grooming. Yeah, Pakistani. It's a Pakistani Asian man. Who told you that? They're just being used as scapegoats. Yeah, it's the migrants. The migrants are coming to the UK. And they're raping women. So what? You telling me this type of stuff don't happen in the UK? So where are the grooming gangs in London then? I'm in London right now, so there's none. There's none whatsoever. None. Huh? Where they at? Where they at? Fucking shit. Where they at? They have to be somewhere. What are they hiding in? Are they hiding in the basement somewhere? Because they're known for traveling, right? Okay. Let's continue. That's why you're hearing about these things now, right? That's why you're hearing about these things. And I see a video. There's been videos that are released, and he's still alive. Epstein is still alive, by the way. He's not dead. He's still alive. I've seen, bro, I got a photo of him in where was he? He was in Israel. Big bed. He's the man still alive, man. They protect their own. Probably drinking a pina colada with children, with some child next to him. There was a video, right? There was a video, and it was around the table, and Epstein was chasing this child around the table, and the table was screaming. This man had links to organizations, different organizations. Yeah, he was still a business. He was a businessman. He had money. He wasn't broke. He paid off Mandelson. What's it? £75,000. Come on. my throat chakra is being attacked now. It's like they're attacking my throat chakra now. Satan's attacking my throat. So this is, I tell you, this is big. This is big. This is big business. You talk about these things. It's business. I'm thinking about Ezekiel right now. Who you gonna run to? Who you gonna run to, Babu Kishar? 23. I can't find it right now. But let's continue. I want to go to this. This is Jeremiah. And it's 32 and 33. And they turned unto me the back and not the face, though I taught them. Rising up early and teaching them, yet they have not hearkened to receive instruction. But they set their abominations in the house which is called by my name, to defile. It's our own people that done this. And they built the high place of what? Baal. Baal is basically demons, basically. Idols. And it says, which are in the valley of son of Hinnom. Right? Son of Hinnom. That's where they would burn a lot of trash. It was called the valley of Gehenna as well. That's where you get that term hell, Hades. To their sons, they would burn their sons there, and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech. Yo, you're telling me human sacrifice, child sacrifice don't happen? Apparently, Epstein was also he had a torture ring as well. Yes, where he would tie up children and torture their asses. Yes, not just children, men as well. Anyone would get in his way. Right? And their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech. What's Molech? Molech is Malak. Malak means king. That was an ancient idol of the Moabites and the Canaanites. They're still worshipped today, highly revered. It's an idol. That's why sometimes you're gonna hear children end up missing. Another thing, what happened to what happened to that young girl, Madeleine McCain? What happened to her? Well, one day her parents came on the news and said they can't find her. She was in Portugal. Are you serious? Are you serious? You can't find her, but she was in Portugal. So was it Portugal? Well, let me tell you what happened. They sold her. They either sold her or they got her murdered. I'm telling you. But bro, with the technology, so you couldn't find her. With this technology, at least they still can't find her. She was sold. Madeleine McCain was probably sold. Or she probably got offed. One of the two. These things happen every day. But unbeknownst to you, every day. Sometimes right in front of your eyes. But what can you do about it? Nothing. The only one that can do something about that is Yahweh Shai. What can you do about it? A lot of these things happen every day. Children end up missing every day. Not just children. Single mothers. They end up getting trafficked as well. Single mothers. Especially if she looks good. And yes, men. It can happen to men. Oh yes, it's called sex slavery. And there's another thing called biotech. So they don't need to grab you up. They don't need to kidnap you. They don't need to do that. They can use some biotech and play with your testicles. Excuse me. and play with your heads. They can do that. If the Lord Yahushua gives them permission to do it. That's why you got to fear Yahushua. This happens every day. But it's not spoken about enough. Even when you're working, guess what? You're an employee. So when you're being employed, guess what? That's human slavery. You're working for a wage. You get told when to stop. All of that. Come out the system. The system is a vampire, man. So I'm passionate about this, Brother Kashar. So you know what? I'm gonna shut off here. Hello, Brother Kashar. I'm gonna shut off here. Lord, this was edifying. Hi. Hello. You don't like me. You don't like me. I'm okay. This children. Wait, no, look, don't get it twisted. Of course, I'm not anti-children, bro. Come on. Children, beautiful spirit, bro. Come on. Yahushua picked up that child and picked up that child and said, in order to enter into the kingdom, you have to humble yourself like a child. So I'm not anti-children. I'm anti-abuse of children. That's what I'm anti. Right? I'm Lord willing, I'm the superhero. I'm coming to save these children. Where they at? Baba Kashad. What, bro? Where the superheroes? Where they at? We're coming to rescue you. So many children are crying out. Because when you're young, you don't have a choice who you go with. I spoke to people that were in foster care homes. I spoke to a grown woman a couple of days ago. She was in and out of care. Moved to that place. Bro, it's hard out here, man. Right? So I hope this was edifying. I'll go shut off here. I don't want to give all honors and praises to Yahweh by Sham Yahweh. And until the next time. Shalom.